The glitz and the glamour of celebrity life can be blinding, but behind the red carpets and the sold-out shows, the rich and famous are just as human as the rest of us. They face the same struggles, heartbreaks, and even the darkest evils that lurk in the shadows of our world. In today's episode, we'll delve into the haunting realm of unsolved cases that continue to captivate the public imagination. Stories of people who vanished without a trace, or whose untimely deaths remain shrouded in mystery and doubt. Did they choose to disappear, escaping the spotlight's glare, or were they victims of foul play, their lives cut short by sinister forces? Join us as we unravel the truth behind these chilling tales, where the line between reality and fiction blurs. This is Truest Crime, where the truth is often more terrifying than fiction. Richie Edwards. In the annals of rock and roll history, few mysteries linger as potently as the disappearance of Richie Edwards, the guitarist and lyricist of the Welsh rock band, Manic Street Preachers. In February 1995, on the cusp of a promotional tour for their highly anticipated album, The Holy Bible, Edwards vanished without a trace. Edwards was known for his introspective lyrics, tackling themes of depression, alienation, and societal criticism. His complex personality, marked by battles with depression and self-harm, added a layer of vulnerability that resonated deeply with his fans. On February 1st, 1995, Edwards checked out of a London hotel, leaving his passport and medication behind. His car was later found abandoned near the Severn Bridge, a notorious suicide spot in Wales. Despite extensive searches and police investigations, no conclusive evidence of his whereabouts ever emerged. Theories surrounding Edwards' disappearance range from a deliberate act of self-harm to a staged disappearance to start a new life. Michael Rockefeller. The heir to the Rockefeller fortune, whose 1961 disappearance in the jungles of New Guinea remained one of the most perplexing mysteries of the 20th century. The youngest son of billionaire businessman Nelson Rockefeller had a deep fascination with primitive art. Fueled by this passion, he embarked on an expedition to Asmat, a remote region of Dutch New Guinea, now Papua New Guinea, to collect artifacts in 1961. Unfortunately, the journey back took a tragic turn. While on a boat trip with a local guide, their catamaran capsized near the coast. The guide managed to swim to shore, but Michael and another traveling companion vanished without a trace. The official theory suggests Michael may have drowned at sea, possibly due to strong currents or sudden storm. However, the lack of a body or any wreckage casts doubt on this explanation. A more chilling theory posits that Michael may have been captured and killed by a local tribe known for cannibalistic practices. While some accounts from tribespeople hinted at this possibility, their reliability remains questionable. An extensive search effort was launched, involving airplanes, boats, and search parties scouring the dense jungles and treacherous coastlines. However, no sign of Michael was ever found. Jim Sullivan. Born in Nebraska in 1939, Sullivan's life seemed to follow a conventional path. A star athlete in high school, married to the homecoming queen. But music was his true calling. Picking up the guitar, he began crafting songs that showcased a unique blend of folk, rock, and orchestral influences. In 1969, Sullivan released his debut album, UFO. This limited-release record, a psychedelic masterpiece, brimming with melancholic beauty and introspective lyrics, garnered a small but devoted following. UFO became a cult classic, and its title, by some accounts, foreshadowed the strange twist that awaited Sullivan's life. On March 4, 1975, Jim Sullivan seemingly vanished into thin air. Traveling solo with his Volkswagen Beetle from California to Nashville, he checked into a motel in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. His motel room remained untouched, his guitar and belongings left behind. His car was found abandoned later, the keys still in the ignition. Some believe he may have wandered off in the desolate New Mexico landscape and was met with an accident. Others suspect foul play, with theories ranging from a robbery gone wrong to involvement with the mafia. A few suggest it could have been a planned disappearance, a desire to start anew. Scott Smith. The bassist for the 80s rock band Loverboy met a tragic fate in 2000. Let's share some details of his disappearance. Scott Smith's story began with a stroke of luck. As a student at the University of Manitoba in 1979, he received a call offering him the bassist position in a new band called Loverboy. Canadian rockers quickly found success, going from obscurity to superstardom within 2 years. Their debut album and its follow-up produced hits like Turn Me Loose and the classic rock anthem, Working for the Weekend. However, tragedy struck on November 30th, 2000. Smith, along with his fiancée and a close friend, decided to sail his 37-foot sailboat, the Sea Major, from British Columbia to Mexico. They were navigating the cold, choppy waters near San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge when disaster struck. A freak 25-foot wave hit the boat, knocking it on its side. Smith, still holding the wheel, was thrown into the frigid waters. Despite immediate search efforts by the Coast Guard and a private team hired by friends and family, no trace of him was found. The average water temperature in the San Francisco Bay during that time of year was just 55 to 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Submerged in water that cold, a person would likely only survive a few hours. Unfortunately, Scott Smith's luck ran out that day. The incident serves as a reminder of the power of nature and the unpredictability of the sea. Rogue waves, even larger than the one that struck Smith's boat, can reach up to 10 stories high and are not uncommon. It's a chilling thought to imagine a wave, nearly as tall as a 3-story building. As for Smith, his remains have never been found, and he was eventually declared dead. Ylenia Carrisi. The daughter of renowned Italian singers Romina Power and Albino Carrisi mysteriously vanished without a trace in 1994. Her disappearance remains unsolved, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a heartbroken family. Ylenia, then 23, was a young woman on a path of self-discovery. After backpacking through Central America and Mexico, she arrived in New Orleans, Louisiana, in December 1993. Described as intelligent and independent, Ylenia planned to use the city as a springboard for further travels. The last confirmed sighting of Ylenia was on New Year's Eve 1993, when she reportedly made a call to her parents in Italy. Shortly after, her whereabouts became a complete mystery. Her family reported her missing on January 18, 1994. The investigation that followed yielded few concrete answers. A security guard at the Aquarium of the Americas claimed to have seen a woman matching Ylenia's description jumping into the Mississippi River, but the body was never recovered. Another lead pointed to a street musician she had befriended, who was arrested on an unrelated charge and found to be in possession of Ylenia's passport. However, no connection to her disappearance could be established. In December 2014, she was declared presumed dead at the request of her father. Bison Dele. Dele, born Brian Williams, carved his path in the NBA during the 90s. He was known for his size and athleticism, even winning a championship with the Chicago Bulls in 1997. However, by 2002, he had left professional basketball behind, seeking a more nomadic lifestyle. It all began when Dele set sail for the South Pacific on a catamaran named Aquamania, with his girlfriend Serena Carlin, his brother, and the boat's captain Bertrand Saldo. Their intended destination was New Zealand. However, on July 18, 2002, all contact with the vessel ceased. DeBroad, Dele's brother, confessed to the killings during the investigation. He claimed he shot Bison in self-defense. He feared that his brother would kill him during an argument they had. However, there was no evidence that corroborated his story. A forensic examination of the body revealed no signs of a struggle that matched his claims. The credibility of his confession was further eroded when he fled to Mexico and committed suicide by overdosing on insulin. To date, no headway has been made in the investigation. Harold Holt. In 1967, Australia witnessed the disappearance of her Prime Minister with the baffling case of Harold Holt. The 17th Prime Minister of Australia was known for his active lifestyle. On December 17, 1967, he decided to take a swim at Cheviot Beach near Port St. Victoria. The conditions were rough, with strong winds and high waves. Despite warnings from colleagues about the dangerous currents, Holt entered the water. Tragically, Holt was never seen again. A massive search operation involving hundreds of personnel, ships, and aircraft was launched, scouring the coastline for any sign of the Prime Minister. Unfortunately, the search yielded no results. After several days, Harold Holt was officially presumed dead. This event gave rise to various conspiracy theories. One of the most famous suggests that he was a spy for the People's Republic of China and had been collected by a Chinese submarine. Holt's death marked the third time an Australian Prime Minister died in office, following Joseph Lyons in 1939 and John Curtin in 1945. Lord Lucan. On the night of November 7, 1974, Lady Lucan, wife of the flamboyant John Bingham, the 7th Earl of Lucan, stumbled into a local pub, her head bloodied and bruised. She claimed her husband had attacked her and brutally murdered her nanny, Sandra Rivet. The scene pointed towards a violent domestic dispute. Bloodstains were found on walls and bedding, and a murder weapon was missing. However, Lord Lucan himself was nowhere to be found. He briefly contacted a friend with a cryptic message, before seemingly vanishing into thin air. Lady Lucan stated that when her husband disappeared, he had confessed to accidentally killing the nanny. She believed he had jumped off a ferry near New Haven. The first reported sighting of Lord Lucan was in January 1975, when he was supposedly seen in Melbourne, Australia. An investigation by BBC Southeast in 2009 opened up the possibility that Lord Lucan had plastic surgery after the murder. Unfortunately, all investigations led to dead ends. Joe Pichler. Joe Pichler rose to fame at a young age, landing roles in popular films like Beethoven's Third and Beethoven's Fourth. By all accounts, he was a talented and charismatic young man with a promising future ahead. The events of January 5, 2006 marked the point of no return for Joe Pichler, whose sudden disappearance that day sparked an enigma that continues to defy resolution. Friends who saw him reported that he was in good spirits. His silver 2005 Toyota Corolla was found abandoned at the intersection of Wheaton Way and Sheraton Road on January 9, 2006. His family officially reported him missing on January 16th. The last outgoing call from his cell phone was made at 4:08 a.m. on January 5th to a friend who had visited him earlier that day. Inside the car, a note was discovered expressing a desire to be a stronger brother and requesting his personal effects be given to his younger brother. Although not explicitly labeled a suicide note, the content raised concerns. Detective Robbie Davis, the lead investigator, indicated that there was a possibility of suicide, but no definitive evidence supported this theory. Foul play was not suspected. Pichler's belongings, except for his wallet and car keys, were left behind. As of 2024, Joe Pichler's whereabouts remain unknown. His case continues to baffle investigators and haunt those who remember his promising acting career and the mystery of his disappearance. As we've seen, even the brightest stars can be extinguished by the darkest forces, leaving only haunting questions in their wake. These cases remind us that fame and fortune offer no protection from life's cruelties and tragedies. While some may forever remain unsolved mysteries, the pursuit of truth must continue, no matter how disturbing the revelations. So what do you think? Could there be a logical explanation for these baffling disappearances? We'd love to hear your theories and insights in the comments below. For more in-depth explorations of the human condition in its darkest corners, subscribe to Truest Crime, where the truth is often more terrifying than fiction.